I made a movie called West Side Story many, many years ago, when I was 18 years old. They took me out to Hollywood to make this picture. It was an incredible experience. I played Arab in the movie. The movie went on to win 10 Academy Awards. I then did a lot of different choreography, but did lots of people with Elvis, with Anne Margaret, Star is Born with Barbra Streisand. I did a whole lot of musical things. And then I kind of changed my career and went into doing action movies, kind of, smaller budget action pictures with Tony Curtis and Christopher Plummer and Martin Landau and stuff like that. And I did, the last time I did like 48 action movies in about an 8-year period.
Busy.
Yeah, very. And I opened my own distribution company, which the gentleman who's distributing this picture used to run my video company. Eric Parkinson, he was the head of my video company for 6 years. So, as I'm getting older, I'm thinking to myself, what really makes me happy in life? And what really makes me happy is dancing. And I've always said in any interview I've ever given that no matter what I may achieve in my life, I will always just be a dancer. I love dancers. Dancers dance because of their passion. Most dancers don't think about the money because there isn't that much money from dancing. So we do what we love because we love it, And so my heart goes out to them. And I thought, why don't I, go back to what I really love, which is dancing and singing and musicals, and do something that's for the family. Because, the action pictures we get censored in different countries, and they take out this and they take out that, and we have to do a TV version and stuff like that. So I thought, I want to make a family musical that everybody can see, that doesn't get censored, can be on television, that's good for the little kids, good for the old folks as well, and reach out to I think the world needs it now more than ever with what's going on in Iraq and Syria and all these places, all these wars going on. I don't know if you know, but there are 37 wars currently in the world. That's what we're doing. Mankind is killing each other all over the world, 37 wars. So I wanted to do something that was happy and, sweet and nice. And so I went back to the original story of West Side Story, which was Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare, which is the most beautiful love story ever in the history of the world, I think. And I took that concept and I changed it somewhat, and I decided to make my musical. I try to make it kind of like an Alice in Wonderland fantasy to some degree, where I created a hotel called the Hit Parade Hotel, where everybody in the hotel is a performer. So when Whitney, who plays Jenny, comes to see her father, who she hasn't seen for 5 years, in his hotel that he owns, and she's a very rich girl from Beverly Hills, and falls in love with this dishwasher who has no money, who's just an orphan. And of course the father, doesn't want her to be with him, and there's other forces that don't want them to be together. I could put her in this fantasy kind of an atmosphere that it would create something unique and different and something interesting, and also keeps the music and the dancing going everywhere. So even when you're in the lobby of the hotel, there are people performing everywhere you go. And in truth, I'm going to open up a hotel just like that. Well, the reason I wanted to do that with up-and-coming people, first of all, there are very few stars, as we call them, names that can sing and dance, especially in today's world, because there's so few of these kind of movies that are made. So, and the other thing is I thought about going back to West Side Story, where Jerome Robbins, who was my mentor, took all of us. We were kids. I was 17 years old. And he formulated, he played us like we were pawns on a chessboard. And he moved us here, moved us there. And I thought, I want to give back. That's part of my job now as an adult in this world and as in the entertainment industry, is to give back. So I thought, why don't I take some young kids, give them a break, give them a chance to show their talent, I have, as you know, Whitney, who was wonderful and won Dancing with the Stars, and she was also a participant in So You Think You Can Dance, and Keon and Russell, who were winners, as well as other, Jordan was the winner in Canada for So You Think You Can Dance. But I didn't go after that at all. No, it just turned out that way. It turned out that those kids were the best dancers in the world. And I watched many, many videos and saw many, many people. I would say that I looked at about 100 to 150 a day for a year before I even thought about who I was going to audition. There's a moment where Whitney and Keon split up, and they're both very unhappy and very sad, and they go back to visit sites that they were happier at. And then after that moment, she sits down and kind of reflects and falls asleep a little bit. And then we have a salsa number. Now that salsa number, on film, it looks like it's supposed to be the middle of summer. And everybody's in shorts and little tops and stuff. Well, myself and my line producers, Jennifer and Christina, we were standing there in fur coats and freezing our butts off, really. We were frozen. So we were laughing because there these kids are dancing like it's the middle of summer, and we're freezing, you know. Nobody would ever know, because you look at the film and you go, wow, it's great, everybody's happy, and they're all in little shorts and things and little tank tops and stuff. We had 175 dancers in that scene, so it's quite a large scene, one of the biggest scenes in the movie in terms of a dance number. And so it was a concern, but the weather was so bad when we were up there. We shot in Panama City Beach, and I've never seen really that kind of weather, you know. And we were told it's always beautiful, it's always beautiful. They lied. I had a choreographer, Brandon Bryant, who was also second runner-up on So You Think You Can Dance, and he's currently with Britney Spears touring, and they're in Las Vegas right now. And so I had Brandon, and I had worked with Brandon before we went into these numbers and stuff, and kind of I created the ideas of what I wanted, and then it was up to him to do the steps. So I was so busy, honestly, on the movie, I didn't really get involved in the day-to-day, because I was doing other scenes while he was rehearsing. And then I'd go to see the rehearsal, I'd make my comments, make my changes, then go back to the movie, see it again a week later. That, you know, is kind of the process.